All right, Space Cowboys, how you doing? This is Rob here, back with more Cowboy Bebop Season 1 episode reviews. And today we're talking about episode dos. It's Venus Pop, and it just doesn't stop coming, man. This is another fantastic episode where if an ex-cop and an ex-syndicate person can't trust each other, who can you trust? Do we get the answer to that? No. And they use the old cliche in this of the I'm not going to tell you the truth until it gets to be too late, becomes a thing, blows up in my face, and then people tend to walk away temporarily cliche. So, before we get started, if you're liking what we're doing on the channel, make sure you're hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel if you're not a subscriber, because we realize that most people that come and visit people's channels are not subscribers, and it just helps with my motivation. So if you're liking it, please subscribe. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the conversation. Leave your comments below on what you think of what this show is doing on Netflix. For me, this is definitely a reason to stay subscribed to Netflix. And also to people that are returning, welcome back. As always, let's jump in to Venus Pop. Now, one thing I do want to continue to talk about is the music, the score to all this. Listening to the different tones and the different way that each scene has unique music and tonally picks the right kind of music for each scene. I was thinking about the scene where they are here and right before they end up where they are in this scene, and he's feeling the cup of noodles, and I was just listening to the music. It was just so interesting, all the different ways that they're using it in this. Really unique score to this series. Also, we kind of forgot to mention, and I said, I probably forget some things. We didn't really talk about Vicious from the first episode, played by Alex Hassel, who I am not familiar with. I looked at his IMDb page. Not as familiar with it. I do like the look of the guy. He's kind of, he's going to be our big bad, even though we've got bigger bads in the Elders, the leaders of the Syndicate, that are the ones who think they killed Spike, who was known to them in a former life as Fearless. So you got Fearless and you got Vicious. They must all have a bunch of code names, and I would say that each one is probably specific to the tendencies of the character or the person in the syndicate. So Vicious has probably got his nickname by being vicious, and Spike has probably gotten his for being fearless. It's pretty on the nose kind of stuff here. So they tried to kill him. They think he's dead. He's been gone for 3 years, and it looks like with the woman that Spike loved, who is played by Magic City alum Elena Satine. I don't know if I'm saying your last name right. You probably will never watch this. She was one of the tragic bombshells from the Jeffrey Dean Morgan Star show that lasted for a couple of seasons over there. And va 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 boom. Did they pick a very beautiful actress to play Julia in this? And we get some interesting stuff with them, because Vicious could just be your stock villain. But in this, he's called to task. And I liked that, because this is stuff that I don't remember per se from the anime. And again, if they're adding to it, great. I love this. That, he's being pulled in front of the elders. So we get to see, who's really in charge, even though we don't get to actually see them. It's more, a bunch of people hiding behind masks, which is kind of smart if you're running a crime syndicate and nobody knows what you look like. But they're not happy. This is, again, a pretty common crime story trope of the guy who's running a side business unbeknownst, or he thinks is unbeknownst to the people that he works for. In this case, we're going back to episode 1 with the red eye that Asimov was trying to sell. And they're there to tell Vicious, we know you've been trying to sell this stuff on the sly, and now you gotta pay for it. And I loved it. This was a pretty intense scene because, they're in an intimate situation, or about to be in an intimate situation. They're dragged before the elders, even though they're a hologram, right? before these people, and they're told that they want punishment, and they put a gun in his hand and they say, "Kill your wife." It's like, whoa, okay. And again, it is a little tropish, but it's a trope that when it works, right? Sometimes this stuff doesn't work if it doesn't feel right, but this feels right. Like, what is he going to do? Is he going to choose this moment to turn on the elders, or will he pull the trigger? And he pulls the trigger and nothing happens. And for the life of me, I didn't know if it was gonna be an empty gun or not, because I really can't predict what's going to happen on this show, even if some of this is based on other older episodes from the anime series. When the gun doesn't go off, the gun, he didn't have to kill her. The punishment isn't just proving his loyalty and showing how far the elders will go. Now his wife knows he'll pull the trigger. So they didn't just punish him by putting the fear of God in him. Now they've definitely messed up his relationship. So they've hit him on two sides here, and he's pissed. And he's already been told in the end of the previous episode that Fearless could still be alive, which, didn't do well for the person who told him. They say, don't shoot the messenger. Well, he didn't. He cut the guy's throat instead with a sword. So Vicious is on the lookout for, whoever this mystery bounty hunter is, this cowboy, and is it Fearless? Well, we all know it is. And Vicious thinks it is, but he just hasn't have confirmation yet. Which leads us to Spike during the course of this, finding his old friend Anna. Now, before we get to that, we do have to talk about the wedding scene at the very beginning of this, where they're trying to find Jett and Spike are looking for a mad bomber who uses teddy bear bombs to blow places up. And this scene is just funny and action-packed, and again, just shows how well this show is crafted and filmed, and the action set pieces and the comedy writing and all of it just fits so well together. His obsession with noodles, their back and forth, the dialogue, the snappy banter is just really on point. The scene in the bathroom where he fights the guy with the blade in his hand, it's the first thing I thought of was Mission Impossible Fallout scene, with the bathroom scene between Henry Cavill and Tom Cruise. And this is John Cho and a guy, and they're not as famous as those two guys, and I'll say, that might not be quite as visceral as the Mission Impossible fight, but this was pretty damn fun to watch. And again, John Cho's bringing it. John Cho is really bringing it. They are doing a lot of this really feels like him, if not all of it. And whatever he can't do, the editing with the stunt work, freaking amazing. Freaking amazing stuff here. But it's not just all action in this show. We do get good story, and we do get fun stuff. And, the rest of it is Jett and him tracking down the bomber that gets away in this whole thing. And when they find out that the guy's name is Teddy and he uses teddy bears, and just the reaction to all that is great. But before we get to that, Spike takes off for a while, leaves Jett to do his investigations on where to find the explosives, track down the bomber. Jett goes and talks to Anna, his old acquaintance, who we now, through this, find out that he's been gone for 3 years and has let everybody believe he's dead because, well, you can't just leave the syndicate. And I like that this is our introduction to a person who can be of help to Spike, someone who could actually be a hindrance depending on the day. He's exposed himself here. Can he trust her? It seems so. But, in the world of film noir, this might have a lot of different influences of sci-fi and Western and all that stuff, but the film noir aspect of this says you can only trust somebody so far. So, and even then, somebody who you don't think you can trust might really be working for you. I love that kind of twist and turns that you can get in characters like Anna, played really greatly by veteran actress Tamara Tooney, who's been in a lot of things. I remember her going all the way back to Devil's Advocate with Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino. So I'm liking seeing her in here. I like this a lot. I love the way they film the film noir stuff. Every single genre that they cover in this show, whether they're doing the space stuff looks so good. And then when they cut to like more of an action piece, it looks so good. And when they go film noir, they go full film noir, and the music plays exactly the right kind of tone for each one of those genres. We might not have Faye Valentine in this episode. It may be the shortest episode of the series, but they really, really cut to it. There's so much to really like here. And when they're trapped, when they finally get up into space and they're confronted with a man with the teddy bear mask, a bomb in his and a bomb strapped to him in his underwear, and we have that moment of, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you about my life because, Spike is afraid to tell Jett because he's an ex-cop. And right before he can, out comes Guy in his underwear and a teddy bear mask, and they just start laughing, and the way they handle the situation is great with, like, action and comedy, and the way it's all filmed is so fantastic. Again, I can't say things about, like, the way that these people work together. The dynamic of these characters I think is even stronger here and better connected right now than some of the episodes of the anime. I really like how Jett and Spike work together and how they talk together. And it's pretty close to the original anime series. But I'm really liking the dynamic between these two actors as well. Now, does Spike tell Jett? No. Of course not, because again, they have to push that cliche to the end of the line. So I'm fully expecting this to blow up and Jett to have a bad reaction because otherwise there's no drama. And, they'll be pissed off for a while. Or maybe not. Who knows? Maybe he'll be like, you should have told me a long time ago. Or maybe he's known all along. Maybe Jett's, been clued into all this and just been waiting for Spike to tell him. I don't know. All I know is that I'm really still digging this, and I'm going to try to keep these videos to a bite-sized kind of thing while still giving you just enough to cover it all. So if you liked this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications. Otherwise, it's time to say see you later, Space Cowboys, and we'll be back more with Episode 3 of Cowboy Bebop, Season 1. Have a good one.